It's the WJAG Morning News Show. WJAG Morning News Show. Time to get informed. What? Time to get informed. What? It's the WJAG Morning News Show.
Good morning, Jackson Jaguars. This is Miss Lange.
And I'm Miss Shelton with the WJAG Morning Announcements.
If today is your birthday, well, happy birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Please stand for the United States Pledge of Allegiance.
And remain standing for our school's creed, followed by the moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please repeat after me. I believe in myself and my ability to make good choices. Today, I will be respectful, orderly, appropriate, and responsible because my education is important. I will do all these things with one purpose in mind: to do my personal best. I will not waste this day, for this day shall come no more. Now it's time to roar. And now it's time to pause for a moment of silence.
Our character trait of the month is integrity. Integrity means steadfast adherence to a strict code of moral, ethical, or artistic values, to consistently be truthful and fair. Our character education word of the week is perseverance. Perseverance means working hard without giving up.
Hey, boys and girls of the JEDI, the Jackson Elementary Digital Institute. It's Thursday again, so welcome to another edition of Think About It Thursdays. Think About It Thursdays is a time to think about fun and fascinating facts at home, at school, and around the world. Today, we think about perseverance. That's right, perseverance. Now that sounds like a big word. But the word perseverance simply means to never give up on something. Never give up on something. Boys and girls, I was told since I was a little boy that nothing good comes easy. That's just another way of saying if you want to be good at something, or if you want to be successful at something, you've got to be prepared to not give up because it looks hard. And so perseverance means do not give up. To become a professional at any sport, you've got to practice and practice and practice. It means that also that if you want to become successful at life or in school, anything at all, you've got to be determined that I can do this. You've got to be determined that you're not going to give up or turn back. So perseverance is what is needed to help us succeed. And so what are some of the ways that perseverance can help us succeed? One is by studying for tests. Perseverance is used when you want to get good grades. You got to be determined. I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to get my work done. So perseverance is needed to get good grades. Another way you can use perseverance to succeed is when you want to work out to be strong. If you go to the gym, you will see the men lifting weights and women lifting weights and running on their treadmills and doing push-ups and sit-ups because they want to develop muscles and be strong. And it takes perseverance to do that. Because I can tell you from experience that after a while, your muscles get sore and you get tired and you want to forget about all of this. But perseverance is what is needed to succeed. If you want to climb a mountain, to see the top, after a few hundred feet, it will take perseverance to get to the top. So perseverance is needed. And why should you persevere? Why should you use perseverance? Because that's the only way you will not give up when things get hard. Perseverance will also help you to be a role model so that you can show others how to get things done, even though those things are difficult. How can we use perseverance, or how can we get better, rather, at using perseverance? There are a number of things I want to leave with you today. 1, stay positive. Think happy thoughts. Think that you can do this. 2, talk to yourself. Do what is called positive self-talk. So thinking it is one thing, but you've got to tell yourself, I can do this. Another way you can use perseverance is to encourage others by telling others, you can do this. You can accomplish this. You can pass this test. You can win this race. A couple of other ways. You can also set small, achievable goals. You set a bar and you reach there, and then you set another bar. But if you put things too far or too extreme, it might be difficult and it might break your spirit. So it takes a lot of perseverance. So you use perseverance wisely. Another way you can use perseverance is to compete with who you used to be. Oh, I can do better than who I was yesterday. I can get better grades than what I got yesterday. I can run faster than how I ran yesterday. Right? You can also ask someone to be accountable, someone to give you positive feedback and to tell you how you can do better next time. And don't forget to ask for help when help is needed. And finally, don't ever let your failures get you down. So persevere, and I can guarantee that you'll be able to look back and say, yes, I did it. I knew I could. Now I've done it.
Let's remember to roar. Every single day, Jackson Jaguars come to roar, they don't come to play. Every single day, Jackson Jaguars come to roar, they don't come to play. I'm from the Jedi, a certified Jaguar. Won't show off too much, but I show you how we roar. Speak when we're supposed to, mute when we're not. Work hard every day, give it all we got. Respect our teachers, be kind to our friends. We don't give up, we work till the end. We're not irresponsible, we do our part. Math, social studies, and even in art. I'm respectful, orderly, appropriate, responsible. Overcoming obstacles. Ooh, I'm so unstoppable, 'cause I'm a Jaguar and I'm respectful. Orderly, appropriate, responsible. Overcoming obstacles. Ooh, I'm so unstoppable. Clocks tick tock every day. We just come to learn. There's no time to play. Big J, and that J stands for Jags. Want to see positive attitude? Then listen, here's your chance. I say 1.2 point Doja points we gain. Jackson in this thing, it's her claim to fame. We ain't playing no games. Games. If you ain't learning with pajamas on, then you don't feel my pain. Please don't get me hype. Jaguars shine like ice. Don't argue with these other schools, 'cause Jaguars keep it nice. I'm a boss, I'm a leader. Give me books, 'cause I'm a reader. I get knowledge every day. I think I'll blame it on my teacher. I'm respectful, orderly, appropriate, responsible. Overcoming obstacles. Ooh, I'm so unstoppable, 'cause I'm a Jaguar and I'm respectful. Orderly, appropriate, responsible. Overcoming obstacles. Ooh, I'm so unstoppable. appropriate responsible. Overcoming obstacles. Ooh, I'm so unstoppable. Unstoppable. Good morning again, students. Today we have a special guest reader, Dr. Ralph Simpson. Dr. Ralph Simpson is the Deputy Superintendent of Clayton County Public Schools. He is over school leadership and improvement. Please listen as he reads Chris Barton's Whoosh, Lonnie Johnson's super soaking stream of inventions.
Good morning, students. So glad to be here with you this morning and about to share with you a book that I'm sure you probably had an opportunity to play with one of his inventions at some point. It's about a person who invented the super soaker. Not sure if any of you all have played with a super soaker or have a super soaker. I have. I take some pride in wetting people up while we're playing outside. But this is a huge, huge, huge water gun. And it was invented by this person by the name of Lonnie Johnson. So the book that I'm about to share with you this morning is called Whoosh. And here's a picture of Lonnie Johnson, little Lonnie Johnson. And he has a very, very interesting story. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about Lonnie Johnson's life. Every day brought a challenge for young Lonnie. The challenge of finding space for a whole lot of stuff that he had. 6 kids squeezed into their parents' small house in Mobile, Alabama. Lonnie would have loved a workshop of his own space, but there wasn't much room. There was nowhere to keep his rocket kits. So look at all this stuff. See right here, you got a rocket, got a kite, a go-kart. Didn't have a whole lot of room. Bamboo shooters, rubber bands, guns, erector sets, go-kart engines, bolts and screws, and other spare parts his dad let him bring in from the shed, and various other things he'd hauled back from the junkyard. See, look at all the stuff that he had. A lot of stuff. Lonnie loved building and creating ideas for inventions just to keep him flowing. So this is Lonnie at work. Look at him. He's busy. He learned how to make rockets from scratch. Kids at school gathered to watch Lonnie launch them. And he learned how to make rocket fuel. When it caught fire in the kitchen, Lonnie's mom didn't make him stop. She just sent him to work outside. Like, boy, get that stuff out of here. Lonnie wanted to spend his life designing things, building things, and getting them to work. He wanted to be an engineer. However, Lonnie took an exam that said he would not make a very good one. His dream had been challenged. Lonnie was discouraged, but he knew that whoever had graded his test hadn't met Linux. Don't ever allow for anyone to tell you what you can't be. You can be anything that you put your mind and your heart to. Inspired by a TV show, Lonnie had built his own robot. He made it out of scrap metal and named it Linux. Compressed air cylinders and valves allowed Linux's body to turn and its arms to move. The switches came from an old broken jukebox. Lonnie used a tape recorder to program Linux. And as a bonus, the reels looked like eyes. Lonnie wanted to enter his creation into a science fair, but he couldn't get the transmitter to work. Without it, Lonnie couldn't send commands to Linux. This is a picture of what Linux looked like. Look at those eyes. Science fairs came and went. Lonnie missed one and then another until he got an idea. Now Lonnie may or may not have asked before he borrowed his little sister's walkie-talkie. But it fixed the transmission issue. His school's team took freshly finished Linux to a 1968, that's way before you all's time, a science fair at the University of Alabama, where only 5 years earlier, African-American students hadn't even been allowed to attend. Having to compete in a place that still wasn't very welcoming, now that was a challenge with a capital C. Against other schools from all over the state, Lonnie's team won first place. Soon, Lonnie left home to go to college at Tuskegee Institute, where he stood out as a self-confident, insightful, creative thinker. He stood out as a student who asked the right questions, precisely defined problems, and formulated solutions. And he stood out as the guy who built his own booming sound system out of cast-off electronics. It even had lights that flashed in a sync with the beat. Lonnie sometimes studied right in the middle of his own parties. The extra studying paid off. He became an engineer after graduation, and that took him beyond Alabama, way beyond. When NASA was sending an orbiter and a probe called Galileo to Jupiter, the space agency needed to ensure a constant supply of power to the orbiter's computer memory. The engineer who had to figure out how to do it was Lonnie, of course. His challenge was to come up with a lightweight backup system able to keep essential functions going in case the main power was lost. It wasn't easy. It was obvious, but Lonnie found a solution. Some at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory doubted his idea would work. Lonnie convinced them it would. He was right. As it photographed Jupiter and its moons, Galileo was supported by the power package that Lonnie designed. Much of what we know about Jupiter could have been at risk in a power failure if not for Lonnie. Ideas of other problems to solve just kept on flowing. They flowed whether Lonnie was working with hundreds of people at NASA or up late tinkering with his own invention, and finally his own workshop. Lonnie knew the world's millions of refrigerators and air conditioners needed a new cooling system, one that didn't use R12. That's a chemical that was bad for the environment. He had an idea for using water and air pressure instead. To test his idea, he made a pump and nozzle connected the bathroom faucet, turned on the faucet, turned on the pump, and then whoosh. The stream that blasted across the bathroom was so powerful it created a curtain-swirling breeze. It also gave Lonnie an idea for yet another invention. This, he thought, would make a great water gun. First, he had to find and make the parts, including a pump small enough for a child to handle. Then he had to glue the parts together into a prototype, an early version with the room for improvement. Finally, Lonnie tested his strange-looking squirt gun at a picnic. Does it really work? A man asked. Sure, Lonnie said. Want to see? Lonnie worked the pump, which squeezed air into the chamber. When he pulled the trigger, the air escaped, forcing water out with a whoosh. For a water bottle to be a fair fight, there couldn't just be one. Lonnie's water guns. He needed help making more. So he went to a toy company after toy company after toy company. The word no flowed again and again, but finally one company said yes. It planned to make his water gun. Lonnie also had other projects, a water-propelled toy airplane, 2 kinds of engines, his cooling system. He had found inventors to provide the money for turning his ideas into products people could buy. He made a leap of faith, quit his day job, and devoted himself to full-time inventing. But soon each plan fell apart, even for the water gun. These things sometimes happen, but when they happen, one after another to the same person, well, that's some pretty bad luck. Lonnie didn't have a job. He didn't have the money he'd been counting on. He and his family had to move and out of their home into a little apartment. He was angry and scared. But Lonnie had dealt with challenges all his life, so he knew a lot about solving problems, and he still believed his inventions, especially the water gun. Lonnie went looking for another company. In 1989, he found a toy maker who was interested in seeing water if Lonnie ever happened to be in Philadelphia. But don't make a special trip, the guy said. Lonnie made a special trip. In his wife's suitcase, he carried a new prototype. He unpacked it, filled the tank with water, pumped the gun into the air. Pressure was good and high, and you know the rest. Whoosh. Kids everywhere agreed with a wow. Lonnie's water gun, Super Soaker, became a smash hit. In no time, Super Soakers in backyards and beaches all over the place. So what did Lonnie do? He got a bigger workshop, which is where you'll find him today, because facing challenges, solving problems, and building things are what Lonnie Johnson does and loves to do. His ideas just keep on flowing. And that is the story of Lonnie Johnson Whoosh, the Super Soaker.